Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. In line with the month of August, I'm doing a theme of daily videos. Each one should focus on a different stock if I can stick to schedule. And today I want to talk about MercadoLibre. And not only that, but I want to discuss my biggest option win of the year. And hopefully, as I show this today, hopefully it will offer encouragement to some of you that are doubtful on options, because as far as call options, this hasn't been the best year for them, but we're starting to see the market recovering, especially in the second half of the year, and we could see a significant rebound. So I want to show you, first I want to go through this company briefly. I want to go through my thought process on it and why I took out an option in it and how it paid off. So Mercado Libre is like what I call the South American Amazon. This was a very, very hot stock over the last few years, and it had dropped significantly from where it was a year ago. It hit almost $2,000 a share. In fact, the 52-week high was 1970 a share. So I always knew this was like how Amazon used to behave when Amazon before it split. So I always looked at that 52-week high as the potential that this stock could get back to. And it's a very volatile stock. So those of you that may trade options based on volatility alone, this delivers juicy premiums, but it's risky from a selling a call premium against it. So, but let's look at, so earnings are coming out tomorrow. So this was actually, unbeknownst to me, this became an earnings blast play because the earnings come out tomorrow. So let's look at this stock. It bottomed out June 13th, $635 a share. I knew it wouldn't stay there much or too long. I really didn't believe it would stay at that bottom, because you can see after the Russia-Ukraine invasion, if you go back to like March, the stock was trading around $1,000, then it dropped to like 891, and then it shot back up to like 1224, just like that, like within the matter of like 3 weeks. So I had a feeling this would shoot back up relatively quickly. And if we look at the earnings real quick by quarter, so it's missed the last two quarterly earnings. So I would say it's possibly due to beat earnings, and we'll see what happens, but the projections are higher. But what I want to show, and I'm going to reveal a little bit here more than I normally do. I'm going to go into my Roth IRA and I'm going to show my gains and losses for the whole year so far. So this is the Roth IRA. And before those of you watching, some of you, before you get any ideas, a Roth IRA you can't really touch until you're like 60. So unfortunately, yeah, I've made some gains this year, but I can't just go to Vegas and blow it. I have to hold on to this for retirement, which is what the account is designed for. So what I did, I used, and this, by the way, is not representative of everything I do. I mean, I have losses this year too. So I don't want this to look like I'm a perfect trader by any means. But so I was in IBM since 2021. I actually put my entire 2021 contribution into the Roth, into IBM stock, and it did very nicely. So I made a $1,500 gain, and then I sold that in June, and then I rolled part of that into the Mercado Libre long call option, which is a leap. So I've kind of changed up my strategy a bit to where now what I do, I'm taking out leaps, which are like a year or more out, instead of the short-term call options, which can experience theta decay very rapidly. So this one turned out quite nicely. And I have a feeling, even though I got a 50, almost 59% gain in a month on this, which is pretty good, $2,518.52, becoming by far my biggest option win of the year. But I don't want those of you watching this to think this is the norm, because not by any means is it the norm. This happens to be my biggest win of the year. This can become quite possible if we get back to a bull market. Like I could show trade examples from 2021 where stuff like this was possible all the time. So, but yeah, what I think is going to happen with this, like if the stock, because I was so happy with the gain, I'm like, you know what, I'll go ahead and just take this today. But I guarantee you, probably a year from now, I'll look back and wish I probably would have kept this, because what could happen with this, if the stock gets back up anywhere close to where it was, this could have easily 10x'd. So this, because I paid $42.80 for this, and then I sold it for $68. And when I sold it, I did a limit order to sell it, and I was actually surprised the limit order went through. But because the stock shot up so significantly today. And if we look, the stock is clearly on a bullish trend. You can see, you can almost draw a straight line from July 14th to the 21st. Then it pulled back a little bit, which is customary. When you have a run up, you have a slight pullback and then a run up again. So if you're charting here, those of you that love technical analysis, this is like you've got the run up, then you've got a slight pullback, and then you run up again. That's exactly what you see here. It's like a lightning bolt almost in the upward direction. So 1 year target estimates projected at 13, 14, 35. And what I want to show, if I pull this up in the options tab, because this contract price for just 100 or not 100 contracts, but one contract controlling 100 shares, this could easily 10x if this stock gets anywhere near where it used to trade at. And it probably, if I go back, I'll show you. See, some of these that are in the money are like $800 a contract. So if we go all the way to, because I picked one that was pretty far out of the money so that I could actually afford it. So I'll go to, so 50, here it is today. So $68, so the bid and the ask. So it closed right between the bid and the ask, which is where I was able to get out of it for. But if I look at the historic price here, let's see. And this data on Yahoo Finance isn't perfect, but if we go back, see, look, when this was trading, look at November 9th, 2021, $525. So if this got back to that, and of course there's some theta decay because that's how options work. There's a certain amount per day. It's like your tax for holding it all the way until expiration, which is why I believe leaps are better, because the theta curve is much lower the further out you are, because it's time value basically. So if this were to just get back to where it was in November, which I'm going to pull up my phone here and let's see. Okay. So MercadoLibre in November was at 1592. So if this were to get in the money at 1500, that was the strike price that I bought for, then this option would have been 525 per contract times 100. That would be $52,500. So I'm going to look back on this like closer to the actual expiration. And who knows if this drops again, my plan actually after the earnings, if this drops back again, I may just get back in and just play that short term and then get back in and then just ride this out for the long term, which is what I like to do. Because if this thing could 10x, like that's a phenomenal gain by January 2024. So hopefully in that rant, hopefully you got the gist of what I'm trying to convey here. And I just wanted to share that. If you like that, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching. And keep an eye out. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have my next video out. I don't know what company I'm going to talk about, but I'll decide between now and then. So thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good evening.